Hey guys, it's Maymay and it's time for part two of our little, what was gonna be 12 Days of Christmas album. Now it's more than that. So all I did while I was away was glue in my little photo pieces here. And you're gonna notice that these are upside down. It's not a big deal. By the time the photo's there, it won't matter. But I just wanted to warn you of that in case you did the same stamping I did. If you're wondering how to put this guy together, check out part one. We'll link that video for you so you can see it there. All right, I told you I was going to make this a prompted album. Now, I want to take just a second and explain what a prompted album is. Many times we make these projects and we give them as gifts, but when a person gets them, they don't always know exactly what to do with them. This album is pretty easy. You kind of know, just put some photos in here, right? Some 4x4 photos. But some years ago, we designed this stamp set with making albums easy in mind. And here's what that means, especially for Christmas. I'm going to be able to tell the recipient what photo to put where. Not necessarily that they have to put it there, but I found for a lot of people, it's a lot easier if you just kind of prompt them with what photo to take. And I even think it might be cute if you send a little note or a letter in your card or something that says, hey, gather these photos in December. They'll be perfect in your album. So let me show you my plan. So first I want to count how many photo spots I have. So I have 22 spots because I didn't put any right here, okay? So because I can do 22 prompts, or I can do half of that in prompts and then leave some open for other photos. And I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll make 11 prompted pages and leave 11 open so that my grandchildren can put whatever they want to in there. But with the prompted pages, it'll give them an idea of how to do the other pages, right? Okay, so I'm going to put this guy aside for now and we're going to start to work on this one. So I flipped my stamp set over and I want to show you on the back, we have all of the words included and they're alphabetical for you so you can find everything you need. And now we're going to make a little list. Okay, so I'm going to try to think of things that my grandkids normally do. Here's the thing. I don't want to make this so hard that my daughter-in-law has to take a bunch of specific photos for it. I want to do things that we normally would do, right? So let's start with one thing you know you're going to do. You're going to make some kind of food, right? You're going to bake cookies or something. So let's do that. Let's do baking cookies, which I have here. That's one. Then let's look for some more. Let's do decorating the tree. They're going to do that. Let's do wrapping presents. Let's do Christmas movie. I'm going to do Christmas Eve because we always do a Christmas Eve picture. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to do Christmas Eve with Grands because we also do a picture together every Christmas Eve. I'm going to do one called Our Favorite Tradition so they can pick whatever they love to do the most. Let's do Christmas shopping. Let's make sure we do Christmas Day. I'm going to do Christmas lights. I'm sure they will drive around and look at lights. And if they don't, we typically go to the Christmas lights every year, so we can use that one. I think I'll do one that just says memory making so they can put whatever they want. The more you can give like that, the better. And that's 11, so that's what we need. So in trying to decide where I want to put my prompts, I want to put them onto the pages, but I want to leave it where a photo can go behind it. So I kind of thought it'd be cool to kind of go across the page like this with maybe a little strip and then the photo could tuck in. But I got to be careful not to cover too much of the photo. You also could put it at the top, at the very top, at the very bottom. And another thing I think might be really cute, and we may try it together, is to cut this die shape so that I get this same piece here and it kind of nestles and the photo tucks in. Let's see how that would look. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a piece that I cut with the die, only cutting the small strip at the bottom. And my thought was that it would go here and I would leave the top open. So when they had a photo, they could just slide the photo in like that. But honestly, by the time I put a strip on here with the sentiment so that you can read it, I don't think it's necessary. I feel like what it does here is not enough for me to do all the work to miss Ben. I thought it was going to be cute and I wanted to do it. And I'm like, since I'm walking you through this, album, I wanted to show you that. For me, I think I'd rather glue a strip to either side with the prompt here, and then the photo can just slide underneath, and I think that'll be just as cute and a lot less work, and I can get this from a lot of my scraps. Let me show you. These are the scraps that I had left over from cutting these pages out, and I can get these strips from here so I can use up some of the waste. So I'm going to cut myself 11 strips that are 3/4 of an inch wide, or at least 3/4 of an inch tall. Let me see how wide I need them. I want it to go all the way across, so I think I'm going to do them at, I don't want them to go to the scallop, so I'm going to do them at 4 3/8, and we'll see how that goes. Now, using the list I made, I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to load them into my stamp wheel and stamp all of my sentiments to match. I'm just going to use black ink because I really want it to pop, but you could use any color here. So I got all my little strips done, and on some of them I left some room for these little icons. These little icons are a little bit big, but I'm still going to use them. This is from Made by I Made It. I love these little images down here. And like decorating the tree, I saved this space, and I know it's going to hang off a little bit, but I think it'll be cute anyway. I think you'll get the idea of what it is. So let me show you. I'm just going to tilt this guy down here on the end. Just let the bottom of him hang off, and you'll still know it's a tree. See that? So we've got decorating the tree. There might be another place I want to use this one while I've got it. How about on Christmas Day? Because I did leave a little spot there. And this time we can do him straight up and down. Just a little something extra in those little spots. Then let's see what else we've got here. For baking cookies, I'm just going to use this little camera because it's what I've got and I think it works. That's kind of cute because it is going to be a picture. And then we could do the picture on Christmas Eve also if we wanted to. Let's see how it fits. I think I'm not. I think I like Christmas Eve just like it is. I've got a plan for that one. And let's see what else is in here. Wrapping presents. Okay, I have this cute little package. I know the whole thing is not going to fit, but you will definitely get the idea here because it's like a little bow. Put that guy right there. Super cute. So think about that too. When you have other little icon images in your stamp stash, that'll be cute. Let me show you my plan for this one. Everybody knows I love stitch marks. So I'm going to come through here and do little stitch marks. Just kind of add to it and kind of lead your eye around. And it feels kind of like motion. I love that. Love it, love it. You could do that with all of them, actually. All right, let's put them in the book. Another thing, if you've been doing a lot of stamping like I just was, keep some hand sanitizer at your desk. And any stray ink that might be on your fingertips, this is a good way to get rid of it so you don't end up getting it somewhere else. I'm notorious for that, so I thought I would share that little tip with you. I use a lot of hand sanitizer at my desk, a lot. Okay, so I'm going to open this guy up. Now, where we place these doesn't matter too awful much, except I don't really want to do the stuff I know they can't put in until the end of the month, you know, closer to the end. So let's look at that. Like Christmas Day is going to be end of the month. They could bake cookies early. Christmas Eve is obviously end of the month. Decorating the tree, probably pretty early. Their mom's like me. She likes to do things early. Wrapping the presents about midway through. Christmas movie, probably early. This one can go anywhere because it's just making memories. Shopping can probably fit anywhere. Let's do something like that. Let's do lights a little bit later. It doesn't really matter when it is. You just don't want to put Christmas Day at the very beginning, so you give yourself something to look forward to. There's our favorite tradition. And how about Christmas Eve with the grands, because that usually happens early. Okay. For placing these guys in the book, what I think I want to do is I think I want to do a prompt and then no prompt, flip the page, and then do prompt, no prompt, and just work my way through the book. And when you glue them down, your little scalloped piece is bigger than a 4x4 photo. So as long as you glue these guys right to the edge and leave the center open, the photo will slide in. Just don't put glue very far in. Also, if you struggle with your stamping, look, I did one and then I didn't like it, so I flipped it over after I reset my little stamps. So if you have to do that, no big deal. But I didn't waste the piece. I just did it on the other side. I just flipped it over. So I'm going to put this guy about like this. Now also, do a pinch. You know how whenever we do pockets, I'll kind of do a pinch to get a little lift? That way, no one has to struggle to get the photo underneath. It's lifted up, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll just slide this under. See how that's just lifted a tiny bit? So now when mom or whoever you're giving this to gets this, they know put the photo right underneath there, right? Okay, so we're going to flip this up, and I did a prompt on the left-hand side, so let's do a prompt on the right-hand side. Another thing you can do, and I think I may do this, watch this. Another thing you can do is glue down only one side and then let the person putting the photos in glue down the other side. Does that make sense? Because then if their photo is a little bit large, they can put it in there and then just glue this on top and they're good. But this guy's not going anywhere. He's right there. So now we can flip it, and now we need to go over here. So I'm going to go Christmas movie. I really would suggest, though, when you give this as a gift, take the time to write just a little instruction sheet, just a little something that says, this is an album I made for you. It has prompts to show you where to put photos. Slide the photo under the prompt and glue the strip down on top of the photo. Just something like that. And that way people will know what to do with it. Okay, so this is my last one for the bottom section of photos. Okay, now what I'm going to do is work my way back up. I think this will be cute. So where I've got wrapping presents, then I think what I'm going to do is do Christmas Day here. So you'll kind of work your way through the story and then work your way back up. I think that'll be neat. If you don't like this placement, as a matter of fact, I think I'll go low. The reason I'm going to go low with these, and we'll talk about placement in a second, most people line their photos up here. Most people line the imagery up in this area. If you put this at the bottom, you're usually safe. If you're covering anything up, it's going to be legs or feet or a vehicle or something like that. If you put them up here, you can't bring faces. So I'm going to stay low. Placement. Maybe you don't want to work your way up because Christmas is going to end up in here for me. Maybe you want to do one side and then the other so Christmas Day ends, so your photos land like a book. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not picky about that. I'm going to love seeing these photos in whatever order they're in, and I think it will be fun for the girls to kind of walk through the season adding photos. There's Christmas Eve. And another thing, by just tacking these into one side, they can be lifted off and moved. And if you would rather, if you don't want to put these in, just send these to the recipient, maybe in your card, and say, these are the pieces that would go, maybe put one in so they can see how they go. I'm lucky because my grandgirls can watch this video, right? But maybe just put these in the card and say, use these everywhere you place a photo to show what the photo is. I think that people would understand that. You have to do this for who you're sending it to. That's one thing. Like, my girls have gotten really good with albums, and I guess that's just because, I don't know, they just picked it up. Especially Addie just understands a photo album, so she'll understand what to do here. But if you're sending it to someone and you're not sure, take the guesswork out for them. I ended up having one more, which I knew I would because of 11 versus 22. I'm just going to put that one there, and they can have several prompts right here. Okay, so there's my prompts laid in. They're not glued down all the way. I only glued both sides of this one to show you, but I left all the others open on one edge for them to finish. Okay, now let's talk about some cutesies. So for closing our waterfalls, here's what I've done. I've got these two little pieces that are 4x4. I'm going to put right here. And I'm using some of the ephemera. Now the ephemera for this paper pack comes in the form of these toppers, and you pop them out. That's what the ephemera is. You can see all the little pieces. It even has these little pieces for the tops of envelopes, which are super cute. This is how I'm going to do this, I think. I had originally thought, now these are the little closures we cut out earlier. I'd originally thought that I might use one of these toppers as the end piece for my little closure. My closure is a little small because of how many pieces I added. So maybe I won't do that. Maybe instead I'll just add the toppers above it and just let this be a little closure flap and just, just like it is. So I can just apply my magnet in there, and then I'll have this space for decorating, which I think will be cute. So let's install this guy, okay? Here's how it's going to go. I'm going to pull this guy away for now. And the little bottom of our little piece has a fold already made for us that we can apply glue. This always seems intimidating, but it's super easy, okay? I'm just going to slide this under here, and I want it to go right to my little waterfall there, and I want to center it. So I'm just going to eyeball center this guy because I want him to land right up the middle of those waterfall pieces. If you need to measure, go right ahead. Let's go ahead and put this little guy on too. So he's already folded. Now, if you didn't see me cut these, it would have been in part 1. So if you're like, where did those come from? Check out part 1 of this video. All right, let's go to the bottom here, and I'm going to line this one up in the middle, right to it. Just like that. And I have the luxury of looking in camera to see if we're even here. Feels a little off to me. That's a little better. They don't have to be perfect, you guys. We don't have to stress over perfect. There we go. All right, now what I want to do is put my magnets in. I'm going to use some of the small ones here. So I'm going to get a negative and a positive out. Then I'll peel away the protective backer just off at one side. It doesn't matter, negative or positive matter. Now I think I'm going to put my magnet on this little companion flat piece that is also cut with the die. So now that I've got this little guy on here, what I'm going to do is glue this down just like this. And because of how I did it, I'm going to put a little sticky tape on there just to help me out. I just want to make sure he's going to stay down. So a little sticky tape to wrap him down, and it'll also help stick him to the piece underneath. Now, you don't have to do this way. You could put your magnet on underneath the big flap to give yourself more room to cover it up and then cover it up later. I'm just thinking this is how I'm going to do this one. I think it will be okay. Then I'll glue this piece on. Don't worry, we're going to apply our other magnet in just a second. I want to get this guy placed where I want him. Go ahead and smash those sides out. I'm going to hold them. I'm going to hold around the sides of the magnet here so to give it time to adhere. Seems to be sealing down just fine around that magnet. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other magnet, place it onto the back. So you'll see there that it's caught on there, and I'm going to reveal that backer. Now when I close this down, this is going to hold right where it is. So I just want to slowly let that go into place. That installs my magnet. So when I lift, you see my other pieces behind, and that is how we do our magnets. It's very, very, very easy, you guys. Let's do this one the very same way. Now I'm going to open those because I want to cover the magnets I put down there with these pieces, and that's going to be just fine. I want to put that down just to give us a little place to decorate. So like I said, these are 4x4 pieces. Now you could save this for a photo spot. That would be fine too. You see I'm putting a lot of glue on there. I want to make sure that magnet gets covered really well. But you could save this for a photo spot if you wanted to, but I think I just want to put some little Christmassy bits here. That hides our magnet. And now you'll see our little pieces will close just like they're supposed to there. Isn't that cool? All right, let's decide what we're putting up here for decoration. I really like this little package. I think it's cute like that. And I have 2 of these. I thought they might be cute kind of holding hands. As I was playing, I remembered some of the dies that I've got that I've been wanting to play with lately. These are from Pink and Main. This is 2 from a set that has like 5 or 6 sentiments. That's really, really cute. And they say merry and bright with their little layer. And I also cut out joy with its little layer here. These little bows, I think, are so cute. I think I'm going to use them here as well. So let's start stacking these guys up. I'm going to move our album out of the way for a minute. And I'm going to bring on my sticky folio. Now, if you don't know what the sticky folio is, it is a folio, basically a little album full of pages that have adhesive on them. And what's cool about it is it's kind of like a big sheet of tape. And what you can do, these little pieces like this, like we have right here, I'll show you how tiny that is. That little M, let me get it where you can see it. There it is. You can take these and just place them into your folio, and we're going to rub it down, and everywhere they touch in the folio, they'll pick up adhesive. Now you want to make sure you get all the little tiny pieces out of your die and just place them in for now. We're going to burnish them down in a second. Tell me in the comments if you've gotten a sticky folio yet and what you use it for. I really like it for, you can see, I typically only use it when I have little fine line images. Otherwise, if I can get glue, I just use my glue. But what I love about that is I don't feel like I use this folio up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like it's wasted. It's here when I need it for tiny little pieces, but I don't feel like I have to replace the adhesive over and over again. The other thing I like about my folio is I don't really have to stress too much about where I place them. As long as they're not overlapping, I can always come back and use all of this tape until it's gone. So now I'm going to push this piece down. This is like a little carrier sheet that you put on top of it. Then It comes with this little tweezer that has this flat edge, and you're supposed to burnish your pieces with it. Be careful. This is metal and it can be a little bit rough, but the idea of burnishing it down like this makes that adhesive stick really well to every spot. So you do it like that, then you can pick this guy up again. And now all these pieces are ready to go. So let's start with this M. Use the little tweezers to pick it up. We'll move this guy out of the way. And this is his base. And I can tell where he goes. I'm just going to carefully place him just like that and stick him down. It's going to be pretty. And I've got the E, R, R, and Y. This is the die set, and I'm going to have to use this to reference where the and goes. So I love that the back of the die has all those images. So I'll just sit that there, and I'm going to get the ampersand. Look how beautiful those are. I just love that. Now, I will tell you, there's a couple of little spots that didn't pick up adhesive, but I'll show you my trick. I can see it lifted right there. If you just take your fine tip and stick it under any spot that didn't quite get the adhesive and just press it down, you'll be all good. There wasn't very many. There was just 2 or 3. So there's those 2 pieces. Then I have these little bows, and I want to show you what my plan is for those. So I thought these bows might be cute right here if we just glued these little glittery pieces down. And I might pop this little piece up in the middle and kind of lay this one over to make the bow look complete. How cute are those? I just think that's adorable. I think I'm going to do that. Before I put that down, though, I want to see what I want to happen above them. So let's bring our little Merry and Bright over. That's adorable. And let's bring Joy over. And what I may do is using those little gingerbread guys is maybe put one here and then maybe one with this one. Y'all always tell me I get too busy. I'm trying not to be too busy. I know. It's fine. You do you. And if I'm too busy, you can do less than I'm doing. But I just think this is cute to lay those out. Let's see if these packages might look cute. Packages bring joy, don't they? Maybe we do that. That's not too bad. You guys lay out and lay out and lay out until you get it right? I know I do. How about that? And then the little bows underneath will be cute. Let's go with that. Not too much, not too little. Sometimes when people tell me my albums are too busy, especially depending on the ones that they tell me are too busy, it kind of blows my mind because I watch a lot of album makers and I don't put nearly what some album makers put on. And it seems like to me, the more you add, the prettier they are. So like, I never know the happy medium. Like some of the album makers I watch just load theirs up and it's just gorgeous. And I always want to be like that, you know, but I say to each his own. What's too busy to me is not too busy to you and vice versa. I say play, put this guy together until you like the way it looks and go from there. That's the beauty of crafting. We can do anything we want in any way we want. Now I'm going to assemble this bow off before I put it in. And the reason is I want to get this little guy tucked really well. And because I'm using glitter paper here, I do have to use a little more art glitter glue than I normally do. I found it's best to let the art glitter glue get into the texture of the glitter, and that will really get you a good hold. And I was thinking about popping this little piece up, but I really think over time it may fall off. So I think I'm just going to glue it down flat. This is just the middle piece. You don't even really have to have it, or you could put something else there, a little charm or a little bling or something like that would be cute. Now I'm just going to glue this guy down here. Not right at the very tippy top, so that way your hand can still reach above the bow to open it. So you're not having to pull the bow to open it. All the girls do that. So I'm trying to get it glued down nice and firm. So everywhere it's touching, I applied some glue, but I think that little bow is so cute. Little bows, they're very cute. They might have been prettier done like in red. Maybe I should have done red because they might have popped better, but I like this. And in real life, I know it's hard to see on camera, but in real life, they just sparkle, shimmer, and shine. All right, you guys, it's time to decorate the outside. And you can see I've been playing and pulling things together. We're going to use all of this. I'm excited about my plan. I'm going to tell you, some of you guys won't love it. It will be a little busy for some of you, but I really am excited. I actually had a lot of different ideas to go with. I'm going to put on the screen here my inspiration picture. It's not super busy, To me, I just love how it looks, and we're gonna let that inspire us. Of course, ours won't look anything like that when it's done, but that's where our inspiration comes from. Okay, so ribbon because I wanna do a tie closure, buttons because I just love them and I like to use them whenever I can, so we'll come back to those. And then in the inspiration photo, you will have noticed that either that album or the design, the paper was wrapped around. It could have been a design on the album and it kind of covered like this, right? I'm going to do something a little bit different. I still want to put down these pieces onto my album like so to give myself separation and a place for my buttons to live so you can see them. But I also want to do a little edge on this guy. I may put a little edge on both of them, but I definitely want to do a little border edge on one. So I chose this one. On the inside of the album, you'll remember I used one that was a little more delicate, a little more, had more of an intricate design. But I'm thinking for this one, because I'm already going to be using so many pieces and I'm going to be busying it up, that I'm just going to use this simple scallop. And I'm going to decide if I'm going to do both pieces or just one. So let me get this one completely border punched and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, let's see what this looks like with one scallop and one not scalloped. It's kind of cute how it just peeks out. I think I would like it to show a little more. So I think what I'll do is trim this little piece down a tiny bit. It was 2 inches, but I think I'll trim it down to like 1 3/4. And because of that, I'm not going to scallop punch both pieces, just one. And then this guy will get centered in here like so. I think that'll be cute, like a little border edge on either end. These pieces down here, I'm not going to worry about them not finishing, I'm just going to leave them where they are. I could actually cut that straight off and just kind of float this. Let me show you what I mean. I'll do it and that way, because I know a lot of you guys don't like the way these border punches end. I've heard you guys talk about that before and you wish they had a more like perfect ending. Let me show you a trick. We can take this one and we can go ahead and glue it down. And I'm just going to glue it in the center of my scallop. So I'll probably need to stand it up and look at it. So that's going to get pretty close. It looks like I did a kind of a crooked cut, but again, I'm not going to stress too much. It'll be covered up with all the buttons pretty much. All right, so then what I'll do is I'll use my trimmer and I'll lay that little scallop on the end that I don't love into the trimmer and cut that off. You do need to be careful because you don't have a perfectly straight scallop, believe it or not, because your border punch does line up exact on both sides. So like I can't just go into that dip and into that dip. I have to do a little bit more fancy footwork. But you see when I do that, it looks like it ends correctly. And I'll do the same on this side and just kind of get there close. And the piece will be a little bit shorter than our front, but it won't matter. And then you don't have those little tail end pieces. They don't always look great. They look a little scraggly. So we'll do it that way. And then this guy can just kind of float like that. And he's just a little piece that will give us a place to decorate. I could move him all the way over if I wanted to, or I could put him like this. I think I'm going to let him come out like this because I kind of want my buttons to kind of live down him like this. But before I do anything, I want to put my closure on, okay? I want to close this guy with ribbon so it ties with a bow to one side. So I want to put my ribbon here. Now, I have a way I want to do this, and that is I'm going to stick it down with sticky tape, but I don't want, let me show you, when I put this guy down like this, I do not want this stuck down with sticky tape right here. I want this part to be loose so that it can do like that. But I do want the sticky tape to start right behind here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of decide where I want this guy to be. And I think something like that because I really want that little girl to show. So I'm going to grab a pencil. And I'm going to make myself a couple of marks for it. I'm going to do a mark there and a mark here. And just a few pencil marks up and down so I can know where that's going to go. And I'm also going to do a little mark here and here to let me know to keep my sticky tape back from there. Okay, so right here is where my sticky tape will go. I'm going to turn this sideways so I can kind of find the center. And I'm going to use my cutting mat to help me line it up. This main line right here will go through the middle. And I know I want my tape to live about that far back. About like that. And I'm just going to use that line to help me line it up. I don't really mind if it's not exactly perfect. Then I'm going to stand this up, wrap it around, and on the back side, I'm going to let it wrap all the way around because I don't mind. I'm going to let it go almost to the very edge. I don't mind it going to the edge back here. It's just on that front part, I didn't want it to be on the very edge. And I can press that down now, press that down, and press that down. And then I will peel that away. So I'm going to leave myself a good bit of ribbon on one side. I always leave myself more than I need. Just going to place that there for a second and just kind of see if that's where I want it. I can always lift it up to straighten it. In hindsight, I should not have taken all of my sticky tape off or my protector off, but I did. No big deal. So let's just stick this guy in. I have to warn you guys about something. I asked you guys in a video not too long ago some advice about getting readers, about finding some good reader glasses. Well, I took your advice and my eye doctor's advice, and I got contacts and readers. And you're like, Maymay, we don't care about this story. Here's why I'm telling you, because I'm using them for the first time in this video today. And I can tell a huge difference in my crafting distance right here. So you're probably going to see a lot of things that are not perfectly straight and a little bit crooked because I'm getting used to them. So forgive me if things aren't perfectly straight today because I'm still trying to get used to the feel of the glasses. All right, speaking of, I think this guy might need to come this way a little bit. I'm not going to stress you guys. This is still super, super fun. All right, I can glue this guy down. And it's going to hold my ribbon down here. And the sticky tape on the back is going to hold my ribbon here. So we are good to go. And like I said, I always leave myself way more than I need for ribbon tying, especially because this is for my grandgirls and they need to have plenty to tie it back. Let's glue this down. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of crooked on this cover because getting used to reading glasses when you don't normally wear them it's really difficult. I've really been on kind of a journey with my eyesight, and I'm hoping to get it figured out really soon. So put that little guy down. I'm going to check this edge, see how it looks. That looks pretty good. I love that. And now for the super fun part. So here's my buttons, and I did a little test run on my book earlier to see if these were going to work, and they will. These are actually 3 different collections of buttons. This one is one collection. This comes in one pack. We have these in the store. They'll be linked below. These come in one pack. These come in a little candy pack that we have, and these come in another button pack. But I thought they were cute, and I wanted to mix some reds and greens. Y'all, these little gingerbread men are literally the same color as those. I could not believe that. I thought that was so perfect. All right, the first thing I need to do, I want these to lay flat, and they all have shanks. So I'm going to use my craft snips and cut these off. Now, these snips are super popular in our store, and every time we get them, they sell out. But I promise you, if they're sold out when you're watching, there is an order on the way. They are just so popular. Every get them go. But the reason they're so good is because they will lay perfectly flat on the back of the button and snip that little shank off perfectly. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but it wasn't coming out. And I can make these all charms. Now, some of the buttons we sell or some of the pieces we sell are charms. So just pay attention to the packaging. You might find something you're like, oh, those are charms. I don't have to have the snips. But if you have buttons, just snip those off so they'll lay flat when we glue them down. I put my hand there because I don't want this little guy to fly up into my face. So that's why you see me cover that up. Not trying to hide any secrets, just don't want it to hit me in the face. See how cute they are and they become little charms? Like this one's already flat, that one's already flat, and I can just take this one off. All right, I'm going to cut these off. We'll get right back together. These guys are already charms. If you're wondering, can these be used as buttons, as traditional buttons? They can. So if you're using them for garments or what have you, you can use them as buttons just the same. All right, let's put these aside. I mean, without cutting the shank off, but I think you got that part. Now, I'm going to start by placing my gingerbread men, okay? So I'm going to put one like here, and then one kind of there. Because I have 3 of them, and I want to make sure I get them dispersed up and down, I'm going to do them kind of like that. Then I love this little cookie cutter, little cookie cutting board, or it's like a gingerbread charcuterie, right? I love it so much. I want to make sure it gets seen really well, so I want it to go there. This little cookie, just because it's adorable, and I can move all of this around. I thought this spatula was too cute, isn't it? How about a piece of peppermint candy? Then we have a rolling pin that I definitely want to put in. We have another little candy. And let's see, I don't like everything perfectly laid out. I want it to be a little kind of sporadic down the page. All right, I like how that's looking. The little mitten might be cute right here beside this guy because he kind of feels like a cookie tray, even though he's not, like a cookie sheet. This little guy is a little cookie shape, which I don't know where I'm going to use him. He looks like a cookie cutter, if that makes sense. Might put him down here. This little piece of candy was just to add some red where I might need it. I've got a lot of red up there, but I kind of need some in this area. Just going to move him around. Put that little piece of candy there. And then I have this little Christmas tree, which could go right up here. I don't know that I have to have it. And I may not use it. I may just kind of move things around. Give everything its space. Then I can always fill in with some bling. Look how cute that is. I just looked in the camera. That's adorable. I love that. I do like this tree though. But I think if I'm going to lose one, it's the tree. So let's take him out. Let's glue these in place. I have been loving using my Fabri-Tac to glue these charms down. It works perfectly and it dries pretty quick. So that's what I'm going to use here today, just some Fabri-Tac. Now this is going to my grandkids, okay? I want this to be stuck down. So I'm probably going to use more Fabri-Tac than I typically do because I don't want these coming up. So everywhere I have a flat surface, I'm going to make sure I put the adhesive on. I want to caution you on the little charms. When you cut the shank off of some of them, you're actually turning them into two pieces. And let me tell you what I mean. Like this guy right here, this green was the shank. It's what created the little buttonhole in the back. So when I cut the shank off, it made this little bow come loose. All I did was put some glue behind there and stick it back down, and it'll be fine when everything's dry. But just so you know, sometimes when you cut that off, you're also cutting off what held the button on. So it's a little flat. The colors are a little bit matte to me, and I think it'd be cute to add some bling in there. Just, here and there like that, just to give a little sparkle. But I also have these flat back pieces. Look, I have a piece of bling stuck to it from my bling drawer. But I also have these little flat back pieces. Let me open them. I really think I like those. I think I even like, do you see it right there? I'm sorry, I should have pointed. I really like those. I think maybe even better than I like the pink. But let's lay some of these out and see what it looks like. These kind of give us a pretty cool look without adding color or without distracting. But it also gives us a little bit of shine. Okay, so I've laid those down like that, and now I'm just going to run through and glue them into place. I do think they add a little something. Now, interestingly, when they're dry and I can turn this sideways, you'll see that they aren't quite as clear on the sides. So I had originally really loaded this up with them, and it looked good from the top because I'm looking into my camera. This view looks really good, but I had way too many because on the side, they're very busy. But these will work, so I'm going to glue these down. So there you go. Those are all done. I'm not going to add anything else. I'm going to tie my bow really quick, see how much ribbon I will need. And like I said, I want to have extra ribbon for the girls. So it'll be like this. Then I'm going to let my charms dry. And once they're dry, we'll get back together and we'll do a little walkthrough. This would be cute too if the bow kind of goes to the top, I think. I think it would be cute. Okay, for now, that's going to be it until these dry, and then we'll get back together and do a final walkthrough. Okay, you guys, let's do the final walkthrough. I'm excited to show you. So you've already seen it, but we're going to go through it again. These guys are pretty dry. I would let these sit overnight before I gave them to anyone. If you're giving this as a gift, let it sit a little bit. But here we go. Here's the inside. We have our little magnet pieces, our little photos where it's telling us what photos to put inside and what we can add into here. I would probably go back and add another photo mat here, or leave this for the recipient to add something to. If they want to do like a little journal, you could add a journaling spot if you wanted. I'm going to leave it for a minute. I will probably send the leftover photo pieces when I give this to the girls. They're coming home soon, so I may save it for them to come home. We'll talk about it, maybe work on it together. But both sides have the little photos and the prompts. There's that inside, and here's our outside. This is a super easy, super quick gift you can give somebody. You can make this for any occasion. I think it's perfect for Christmas, but anything, birthday party, maybe you had, a few pictures from a party, or maybe you're going on a little trip. Maybe you just want to let it be just for one, one little event. I think this is perfect for it. And using those dies make it so easy. I almost could have done this in one video sitting. It just took a little longer because I used all the die cuts and things. That just took some time to get everything cut and placed where I wanted it. But that's it, you guys. I love it. I love the thickness of it. I think it's a good little gift album. All right. If you would like to pick up any of the products that I use, you can find those always listed below and in our blog post. Tamitha does an excellent job of putting all these measurements onto our blog post for you guys, so you can open that one screen and follow along and make as you go. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. I cannot wait to see it with pictures in it. When I do, I'll do a little walkthrough so you guys can see it. I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to give me a subscribe if you like this style of video, a thumbs up if you enjoyed the project, and until next time, bye now.